tonight. One person is confirmed to be dead following a rafting accident on the Willow River. Plus, the forest minister chimes in on the recent Canfor closures. And the pool in the Aquatic Center is starting to show its age. We look into some of the issues facing the pool. Good evening, folks. I'm Eddie Huband, and welcome to CKPG News. Our top story tonight, disaster struck on the Willow River as Prince George RCMP and Prince George Search and Rescue concluded their search for a missing rafter, whose family reported him overdue on Monday. Anthony Correa tells us the story in tonight's top story.
It was 50 years ago this month that 8 young boys lost their lives during a canoeing trip on the Willow River. Now, 50 years later, it seems that tragedy has struck again.
On May 20th, Prince George RCMP received a report of an overdue rafter on the Willow River. In conjunction with the RCMP Helicopter Air 3, as well as Prince George Search and Rescue, our frontline police officers joined the 18 volunteers to search the river for 2 days. Unfortunately, the rafter was discovered deceased late in the afternoon on May 21st.
With the weather warming up, people will be planning outdoor activities. And if you're one of these people, PG Search and Rescue encourage you to take the necessary precautions when planning an outdoor adventure.
Prince George Search and Rescue, we want people to get out and enjoy things. We want them to be safe on the water. We always tell people, find out, social media has made it much easier. Find out what you know or what we know about that section of river and water. Have a good trip plan. Do your research. That can also mean, using Google Earth. That can be ensure what we're doing is done in a safe manner, and we have the proper safety procedures in place to look after ourselves.
Both organizations send their thoughts and prayers to the family and friends of the rafter, and the investigation is now in the hands of the BC Coroner Service. In Willow River, Anthony Correa, CKPG News.
It's been just under 2 weeks since Canfor announced the devastating news that the production line at Northwood Pulp Mill would be curtailed, as well as the closure of the Polar Sawmill in Bear Lake, affecting hundreds of workers and jobs. BC's Minister of Forests spoke with CKPG News about the decisions made by Canfor, as well as one of the long-standing issues that the government and industry have fought over. Adam Burrows has the story.
I think it has a very bright future.
That was Minister of Forests Bruce Ralston on the future of the forestry industry in British Columbia after Canfor announced on May 9th a curtailment, a closure, and a suspended reinvestment, all in northern BC. Canfor said in their news release at the time that the policy and regulatory landscape is shifting, and it's made it difficult to predict operating conditions. President and CEO of Canfor Pulp Kevin Edgson told CKPG News earlier this month that it would be disingenuous to say that the curtailment at Northwood was market-related. However, Bruce Ralston says that prices do play a role.
I know the line is that it's not, prices are not determinative of the decision. But when you have prices that fall below the cost of production, you can't continue at that level for very long.
Canfor says that a lack of access to fiber was one of the main reasons for curtailing a production line at Northwood Pulp, closing the sawmill in Bear Lake, and canceling their reinvestment in Houston, BC. But Bruce Ralston says there's plenty of access to fiber.
They wanted assurances, strong assurances, and I gave those strong assurances repeatedly. So I am very surprised by their decision on the Houston mill, because there is fiber available for that mill, well, if it goes forward. And they asked for those assurances, and they got those assurances.
A local businessman involved with the industry for nearly 5 decades says that there is a lack of fiber out near Houston.
There is, on the west side of Prince George, not enough fiber available for the existing capacity, and that is readjusting to that.
Ralston says that the government is working with industry to ensure access to fiber.
We are doing our very best to help companies with fiber, and I think the industry broadly knows that. I certainly meet with the Council of Forest Industries, their CEO, Linda Cody. They're well aware of the efforts that we have taken.
Pattison Media is owned by Jim Pattison Industries, a majority shareholder in Canfor. Adam Burrows, CKPG News.
This morning, Prince George Fire Rescue responded to a reported structure fire on the 200th block of McIntyre Crescent. It was approximately 2:30 a.m. when 3 different fire halls were dispatched with 15 members and 5 apparatuses. The first-in engine company reported heavy smoke and flame from the roof of the structure. All the occupants were able to evacuate the home with no injuries, and the fire was quickly brought under control, with most of the damage contained to the roof of the structure. Damage to the home is estimated to be $50,000, and the cause of the fire is under investigation.
We had 3 halls respond, which is typical response for a residential structure fire. On arrival, they found smoke and flame on the outside of the building. All of the occupants, it was a duplex, the occupants from both sides were able to get out. Most of the damage was restricted to one side of the duplex. The other side received a little bit of smoke and water damage. At this point, the fire's been deemed accidental, and we're still finalizing our investigation.
Prince George RCMP are asking for your help in finding a wanted man. 30-year-old Matthew Bonner is wanted for assault and failing to comply with probation. He's 6'1", weighs 161 pounds, and has black hair and brown eyes. Police say he's considered dangerous and should not be approached. If you see him or have any information, please contact police. And if you'd like to stay anonymous, you can phone Crime Stoppers. Mike Morris has been the MLA for Prince George Mackenzie for 13 years now, and last week Mike was in the legislature for the final time, as he will not be seeking re-election in this October's provincial election. Mike told us what his tenure was like and what's in store for him in retirement.
It went by very quickly, and of course it was something that was never in my book of things to do, but you know, even just being in this building is a humbling experience. And you know, session after session, it's had its highs and lows over the years. You know, this one has been a pretty good session for us as opposition. We've been able to get the NDP to back down on several bills. I'm going to gradually disappear from the public life, and I get caught up on all the granddaddy and I've missed out on over the last 11 years or so, and a number of other things. Of course, I like the outdoors, so I'll be spending a lot of time out there. I'll be helping Kyle during his campaign period itself, and attending some of the town halls with him, more from the audience perspective, and offering him whatever kind of advice or suggestions that I can to ensure that he wins the riding.
The Prince George Aquatic Center is a premier facility in our town, operating for 26 years now. And over the years, hundreds of thousands of people have used it. But we look now at the aging pool that's showing signs of wear, as plans are underway to improve its safety and efficiency.
The Prince George Aquatic Center was opened on December 18, 1998, making it the first pool in northern BC to have a 50-meter pool and a 10-meter diving tower. It is open 7 days a week and attracts over 240,000 visitors annually. However, the facility is starting to show its age.
Looking for tile replacement in the change rooms, the pool tank finish in the leisure pool. The lighting system is aged. The system is no longer supported. It's obsolete.
The facility needs new floor tiles. Many are hard to clean and worn.
The floor being 26 years old, there's a certain slip resistance you want on a pool deck tile. Additionally, it's starting to look a little grungy. It's harder to clean now, so it's a good, it's at the end of its life.
The winter weather stress has caused damage to some of the exterior walls.
The building envelope has failed due to the vapor barrier failure. With the intent of the original project was to replace the exterior envelope and cladding. With that opportunity, there are areas where we can improve efficiencies, and this being one of them. We could up the R value from R40 to R60 on the exterior envelope, as well as R50 to R70 on the roof. And while doing that, we could go from the EFIS system that is currently on the building and upgrade it to a metal clad system, which will provide a longer service life of the material.
The Aquatic Center is one of the city's 2 pools and hosts competitive sports clubs. This month, the City Council approved moving forward with the alternative approval process to borrow $22 million for upgrading the Aquatic Center. Dave Branco, CKPG News.
Tourism Prince George received a $300,000 grant from Northern Development, and part of the grant will be used to develop an open-air container market and year-round skating rink in Canada Games Plaza. Tommy Osborne brings us more now on what we can expect from this container market and these improvements to the downtown.
A container market is on its way to downtown Prince George. As part of a $300,000 grant, Tourism Prince George is developing container shops to support pop-up markets, a year-round artificial ice rink, and relocating its visitor information center to the Civic Center.
We're just trying to find ways to activate Prince George to excite people about the offerings we do have. I mean, we're creating this product, but essentially it's all the local businesses and local entrepreneurs that are going to be the highlight of what we're offering here. We're just providing that space for them to access.
We'd like to embrace it as an incubator. So if they come downtown and they are able to establish a customer base, maybe they'll think that this is something that they would like to grow in terms of their own particular business and their own products.
Carson says there should be 5 or 6 containers to support businesses, and the hope is to have regularly scheduled weekly hours like a farmer's market, so people will know when to stop by. However, he also sees the location as a huge advantage to boost local business.
The other big opportunity we have here standing in front of the conference at Civic Center is, there are thousands of people that come here, every week for different events. So we want to make sure it's flexible enough that if there's a big event inside, we can have this open and really enhance that experience for those visitors as well.
The market will promote small businesses that don't have a physical location downtown. Van Moog hopes the container market will be great for these small businesses, but also our entire downtown, as this new market could benefit more than just the container shops themselves.
This is an opportunity to attract people to come downtown, enjoy the gathering place that I really envision that Tourism Prince George is going to create through their visitor center and through this activation, but also visit the great local entrepreneurs that we have in our downtown.
This container behind me is the first of several containers to arrive for the market, and it is also the temporary home of Tourism Prince George as the real location continues to undergo renovations. Carson hopes to have the market ready by August, meaning in just a couple short months, we'll soon have another place we can enjoy some shopping and supporting local businesses. Tommy Osborne, CKPG News.
Last fall, the Knights Inn Motel, purchased for $1.1 million in 2019, was sold for over $4 million to the City of Prince George, giving the sellers a whopping $3 million profit on a dilapidated old motel. Mayor Yu defended the purchase as it was done in partnership with BC Housing, who agreed to pay 2-year lease fees up front. But just because you have a lease with BC Housing doesn't mean that the city should get fleeced and grossly, ridiculously overpay by millions for an old motel that needs to be torn down. Today, the Knights Inn is valued at $1.35 million by BC Assessment. Do you know of any property or house or business in Prince George without any major renovation or investment that sells for 400% above BC Assessment value? Municipalities use BC Assessment and independent commercial appraisals in negotiations when purchasing properties. So who did the appraisal on the Knights Inn, and what's their relationship with the city? The local commercial appraiser I talked to was dumbfounded and shocked at the selling price of $4.1 million, as were the 2 Prince George realtors I also spoke to. BC Housing has since bought the North Star Inn from the same people for $10.5 million at a whopping $7 million profit on that property alone in just a few years. The same individuals bought the Lotus Hotel downtown for $700,000 and 18 months later sold it to, you guessed it, BC Housing for $2 million. Again, a 300% profit. At a time when city residents are facing down a $36 million pool repair, our local schools, $2 million in budget cuts, our hospital, woefully underfunded and staffed, our City Hall and BC Housing think it's appropriate to hand over $12 million in profits to 2 local businessmen for the sale of some old hotels at 3 and 4 times their current value. City Hall should know better, and Victoria likely doesn't have a clue. Neither is acceptable, and the citizens of Prince George and the province deserve some answers. I'm Chris Beach, and this is a Northern View.
As of this morning, the lowest gas price in Prince George was sitting at $1.62.9 per liter at Costco. That also happens to be the lowest price in the province right now. Manitoba currently has the lowest fuel prices on average in the country at $1.41.6 per liter, while BC has an average price of $1.88 per liter.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Try one of our delicious stuffed cheesy breads, paired up with chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
Despite some weather concerns last night, the Prince George Senior Men's Baseball League held their opening day as the PG Plumbing and Heating Tigers took to battle with the Pomeroy Inn and Suites Knights. And it was the Tigers who came out on top to open the year. They showed a complete effort in an 8-2 victory. Reg Berry led the way offensively, going 2 for 4, knocking in a couple of RBIs as well. As for the Knights, they could only muster up 2 runs and will look to have a bounce-back performance tonight when they take on the PG Blue Jays. First pitch for that one is at 7 o'clock with all the action at Citi Field. The TSX is down 121 points to close at 22,347. The Dow Jones is down 202 points to close at 39,671. And CN Rail went up $1.62 to close at $174.58.
Well, we are looking at a bit of a cooler night tonight. Clear, but cool is sort of the trend for our overnight period. So again, temperatures below freezing in some areas of our region and only a couple of degrees, if that, above freezing in many other areas. I'll show you all those temperatures in a moment, but here's our satellite map. It was a really nice day out there, some sunshine to enjoy. We'll carry on with that trend tomorrow, especially through the early half of the day. Lots of sunshine expected through the afternoon, turning a mix of sun and cloud for the most part. But no moisture tomorrow. That's our Thursday on the Futurecast. This is the next band that we're watching. This system here approaching Thursday night along the coast, but really not making an impact for us until later into Friday. So Friday evening or late afternoon evening is when we could see a little bit more cloud cover coming through and anticipating some showers. In fact, it may be pretty cloudy actually on Friday, but the showers will be likely later into the day. And then a somewhat unsettled start to our weekend, but we do have still some sunshine to enjoy. Our temperatures are great tomorrow. 20 degrees is where we're expected to get up in Fort St. John, very close to that as well. Beautiful down through the southern interior, at least temperature-wise, but still lots of instability down there with chances of showers, risks of thunderstorms in and around some of those areas as we see those temperatures rise and have that daytime heating. The south coast looks nice and bright, although still some more showers for the next few days on and off. And our region looks pretty good. Cloudy in Burns Lake, cold tonight overnight as well, which you'll see in a second, but tomorrow only getting up to 15 degrees. It'll be nice and bright through many areas, though. Vanderhoof, Quesnel, and McBride picking up some really nice temperatures. Fort St. John and Mackenzie up to 20 and 21 degrees. So here's a snapshot of the country. Along the west, it's quite cool still, at least compared to the eastern half. 18 in Vancouver. We're going to get a break from some of the showers in Edmonton tomorrow, but looking at some clouds for most of the day, especially those low-lying clouds early into the morning. 12 in Regina, clouds and showers again. Another unsettled day. It'll be brighter in Winnipeg, but still quite cool. And then you can see a big jump in temperatures, the huge difference in the pattern as we get into parts of the east, including Montreal, Toronto. Temperatures very warm there today, exceeding 30 degrees in some areas. And tomorrow just in the mid to high 20 degree range is what we're anticipating. Cloudy for Saturday as well. So we'll jump into the extended so you can see what's to come. And there is still some occasional rain and drizzle that Burns Lake will experience Friday, Saturday. Sunday looks to be a brighter day though. But there's the overnight low tonight, -3. So risk of frost in many areas across the region. That includes us here in Prince George. 15 tomorrow with clouds. Mackenzie mainly clear and cool tonight. 21 tomorrow, and then taking that temperature down a little bit Friday, but lots of activity, if you will, for Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It'll kind of be a few different weather patterns moving through your weekend. McBride will be +1 tonight, up to 18 tomorrow with clouds and sun, and then a drop in temperatures, so a much cooler and wetter pattern coming your way, especially on Saturday. Quesnel as well, still anticipating that next system to impact Friday, Saturday, and some of Sunday, so tomorrow looks to be quite nice. For us as well, yes, we are going to see some cloud cover Friday, chance of showers Friday night into Saturday. At this point, we could have a bit of a brighter Sunday here and there, so we'll see if we get that. A cooler trend though, but tonight 3 with risk of frost. Tomorrow though, beautiful temperatures and a mix of sun and cloud.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Try one of our delicious stuffed cheesy breads, paired up with chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
The accolades continue to pile up for the Prince George Cougars even after the season has wrapped up, as Mark Lamb has been named a finalist for the CHL Coach of the Year. Lamb is coming off a season where he was awarded WHL's Coach and Executive of the Year, becoming the first Cougar coach in team history to collect either award. In his 5th season behind the bench, Lamb led the team to a 49-15 1-3 campaign, marking the franchise's best season since moving to Prince George. The stats reflected that record as the Cougars finished the season as the 2nd highest scoring team in the league, while ranking 2nd in power play efficiency and penalty kill. Lamb is up against Derek Laxdal of the Oshawa Generals in the OHL and Jean-Francois Gregoire of the Bay Como Drakkar in the Cube. The winner will be announced on Saturday, June 1st. A couple of round trippers lead off this countdown, and then we end with a double bang from Mike Breen. Now, if you don't follow basketball, you might be confused, but you'll see what I'm talking about in tonight's CKP3.
We start with a fountain ball.
That is beyond the green and into the water. The second deck. 5-0 Royals in the 2nd inning.
The Kansas City Royals have found a superstar in Bobby Witt Jr., a huge reason for their great start to the year. Next, Harper does it again.
Out to center. That's well hit. Tavares going back to the wall. Gone!
Well, that kind of backfired on Bruce Bochy a little.
It sure did. Solo home run. The Phillies are on top 3-1 thanks to Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper on a 3-2 count is a deadly combination. He crushes his 11th home run of the season on a no-doubter. Finally, clutch up.
Tatum trying to get free. Throwing in the corner. Brown fakes, fires up the 3. Bang! Bang! Jaylen Brown knocks down the 3 to tie the game. Timeout, Indiana.
Jaylen Brown with a crazy shot to send Game 1 between the Boston Celtics and Indiana Pacers to overtime. And we show this because the Celtics would end up winning. Crazy stuff concludes Game 1 as Jaylen Brown takes top spot in tonight's CKP3.
That's all for tonight, folks. Thanks so much for joining us as always, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great night.